welcome back. We're in 1986, Constrictor. Yes, from here on out, besides The Eyes of Alice Cooper, which I'll get to on that album, the rest are CDs, and so small compared to the vinyls. But I do like the music video, and I guess just the song title in general, because you really can view it both ways. I mean, quite literally on the music video. To which, yeah, Jason Voorhees is back for Friday the 13th Part 6. I keep wanting to say Halloween. In which he gets like this metal pole through his chest in the grave that, you saw it there. Lightning strikes and he's back alive because, fuck logic. And then Alice Cooper himself, he's back. The 3-year hiatus between Dada and then this album. And of course, you got the Nightmare Returns tour, which is huge, and just ups the scale in terms of violence and blood. And of course, you got like people like Kane Roberts, who's a freaking Rambo, just shredding on the guitar and whatnot. And these two albums, this one and then Razor Fist and Yell, very prevalent in this what would you call like commercial hard rock, thrash, whatever you want to call it. And it's fair usage of like slasher villains, because you're going to get Jason, you're going to get Michael Myers, not in terms of a song, but on stage, and then Freddy Krueger, because the next album is going to have Robert Englund. He plays a small part in it. Of course, he played Freddy Krueger. But overall, Constrictor, half of the album, this is just me, but half of the album is pretty damn good, if not great, and then the other half is just okay. If you like cheese, this album's for you. But I would say though the album cover is pretty cool. A bit over exaggerated on the eye makeup, I would say, but I don't have a problem with that. The backside is kind of getting hung by the boa constrictor, and then there's all the songs, 10 songs. A couple of them are in films actually. And then you open it up, and freaking mustard yellow as the like the track listings and whatnot. But yeah, like I said, overall, half of it's pretty great, the other half is just okay. But you open up the album with Teenage Frankenstein. Now, at least to me, it's not like literally, Frankenstein's monster. It's this embodiment, this, freak, lunatic, social outcast, running around, causing carnage or whatnot. Because you open up with like a lightning crack, and then this heavy riff, and then Alice's vocals come in, and you can definitely tell that he's trying to get back into it after the long hiatus, because he sounds like he had to stay home from school. He sounds like he has a cold. That being said, though, just because he had a break doesn't mean that he sang songs or sung songs. He did some for what's called Monster Dog, some of those films, and then a song with Twisted Sister called "Be Cruel to Your School." The song is pretty blah. But the music video is pretty fun. It's got Bobcat in it, and like a bunch of zombies and whatnot. They're at the school, of course. And he sounds pretty good on that one. But yeah, throughout this album, he kind of shifts between this, this a little cold, and then, it's kind of like his regular stuff. But the next album, holy shit, this guy gives like 110%, regardless of whether or not you like that type of album or music in general. But like I said, it opens up with this lightning crack, a little heavy riff. And then he comes in, and he's singing about how he's the kid on the block, got my head made of rock, I make the babies cry. I don't know why I'm still holding on to this. And then just like kind of like scaring people away and whatnot. Again, like the instruments are pretty heavy and stuff, which will be out throughout this album. Besides Trick Bag, I will get to that song, the punching bag of the album. But then like the chorus kicks too, which I really do enjoy. The backing vocals, of course, I spent my whole life burning, turning, Teenage Frankenstein, the local freak with the twisted mind. And then he's talking about times to where it's like he's being built, like, oh, these ain't my hands and these legs ain't mine, it's my head screwed on tight. So kind of cool stuff. It gets the embodiment of Frankenstein's monster, which I really do enjoy. I would say, though, this song, I think it definitely does kick in gear midway on. I think they really do start to give it their all at this point. So, Teenage Frankenstein, it was played as well in Friday the 13th Part 6, this like RV scene, of course, teens being teens and shit. It's a funny scene, but yeah, it is on that movie as well. But Teenage Frankenstein, like I said, you like cheese, you like corny stuff, this album's for you for, at least half of it. But yeah, I really do enjoy this track. All right, speaking of cheese, we go on to Give It Up. I find that the more that I listen to this album, I'm like, okay, the stuff's fine. At the end of the day, as long as it's fun, right? Because that's all that matters. Everybody likes to be a fucking critic, but as long as it's fun. Give It Up. I think it is fun. It is, like I said, it is pretty damn cheesy, but in any case, it's all about superstition. Like, give it up, in essence, give it up. You hold your breath through a tunnel, you make a wish upon a star, you blow candles, all that shit. Because, like, he pretty much says at the end of the day, none of it matters because you're just going to die in a grave, that pretty harsh truth or reality. I don't know if this is a stretch or not, but the riff in the intro kind of reminds me of the song Domino by Kiss. It does kind of have a, kind of like the same chords to it and whatnot. At least it sounds like it. But for the Give It Up part, just like the chorus itself, it's very boppy, that sort of mid-80s, commercial sound to it, which is fun. I do dig that stuff. In essence, but throughout when he's naming off the different examples, he still has that sort of harsh, raspy, cold tone to his voice, which I do like, because it sounds different. But throughout the song, he kind of gets to this part where he's talking about bills, like, oh, you paid all your bills, everything's fine, you're free, and then like, oh, you only got like 5 years left to live and then you die, and he kind of gives in this slow kind of realistic expression to it, which is kind of interesting. There's a nice solo piece after that, but then I wrote down like he does put some edge into the lyrics towards the end, so give it up. Well, the chorus might be cheesy, boppy, insert whatever, corny. There are definitely parts in this song that like, yeah, it is pretty banger, and like I said, is it his greatest? No, but I like it nonetheless. Alright, Thrill My Gorilla is the next one. This song is, like I said, it's cheese. And I don't like repeating myself, but I'm just telling you guys if you don't know it or, it's been a while. And again, that being said, it doesn't mean it's bad. I like it, as much as it is. I like it. Thrill My Gorilla is basically what you think of. Hanging out with Suki, right? And then, we're going to turn back the clock. Where were you when Monkey hit the fan? Thrill My Gorilla. Because, we're, like in bed or something, and then we're, moving around and acting like we're, back in primate time and whatnot. But I do like the piercing guitar play before the vocals hit. And his voice is, like, lighter on this song, I would say. But the drums, the drums are interesting. I didn't check to see like what it is exactly, but the best way I can describe it is like a jet engine starting. It's just, and then he brings in, where were you when Monkey hit the fan? But it's interesting. I never heard the drums like that, and like throughout his entire catalog or like any other song, just this sort of, like I said, it sounds like an engine starting. It's interesting. And then the backing vocals chant the title when he's in the chorus, like the Thrill My Gorilla. There is one part I wrote down that it could have come out of Zipper Catches Skin, or at least I wouldn't be surprised if I heard it on Zipper Catches Skin, because it kind of has the fast rhythm at this part to where we touch, we feel, we scream, we squeal. Kind of something like that you might hear on I Like Girls, but in any case. And then it ends with repeating, where were you, Monkey hit the fan, Thrill My Gorilla, stuff like that. So, like I said, it's corny, but it's fun. Okay, now, this is where the album gets good, in my opinion, like, great. You're going to have this, like, home stretch of 3 consecutive songs that are just pretty damn good. Life and Death of the Party, Simple Disobedience, and The World Needs Guts. But, of course, Life and Death of the Party, I love the instrumental work to where as soon as you go into the song, that, oh, the past 3 songs, this isn't going to be the same. It's going to be low, gritty, edgy, hard stuff. And that's kind of what it is, a little bit. Like, you get this real dark feel to it. The intro kind of reminds me of a little bit like Prince of Darkness. That will be in the next album, which is a killer song, by the way. But I just love when the guitars and the drums hit. And then really just the whole point of this song is just you're literally the life and the death of the party. You walk in, and then like, you walk in the room, everybody stares, everybody just stops their conversation, just looking at you like, oh my god, this guy's here or something. You try to talk to people that you might like or whatnot, or like you have feelings for, and then they just walk past you, and you're just like, oh man, just like walked over my soul. Skip to dessert because Alice is here type of thing. It definitely reminds me of like a new class in school, and you look around like, oh crap, there's nobody in here that I know. That type of feel, that sucks. But there's a cool part in this song to where he really does stretch a line where he's talking about, everybody down here knows. He just kind of stretches out the part knows. And then he breaks into the chorus, you're the life and the death of the party, down here and whatnot. So yeah, great stuff. Chorus is great. And then he does change the tempo around the 2-minute mark. Well, he's talking about, like, it's just one show, it's just one night, it's just one hotel room. Definitely gets like a melodic tone. Like, there were times throughout this, like, some of the lines on this song, it's like, oh, is he talking about like a party, or is he talking about his stage? Because there are like literally lines about the stage, like you're the lights in the stage. But in any case, I don't really know. And then there's a nice and heavy solo after that. So Life and Death of the Party, yeah, that is a great song nonetheless. Alright, for Simple Disobedience, if The Purge was a song in an essence, this is it. Because there's like fast and heavy guitars and drums, and then the leads into like the solo drum piece, which I really do enjoy. And just throughout the whole song, it's got this sort of no hope attitude. So he's naming off a bunch of things like, cops are gone, law and order's erased, all the Hunger Outlaws are dancing on the stage, and then, man, whatever that is, just like the bang, I don't know if it's a drum or bass, I honestly forget, but it's just this banging sound, and then like the backing vocals are all heavy and menacing, saying like, simple disobedience. And then he breaks in again with like, and all the hungry outlaws are marching on the stage. Great stuff, just high and energetic throughout this entire song. And like I said, I think like the backing vocals really do add a lot to this song. But yeah, at the end of the day, very, very heavy, it's definitely got that attitude towards it. And yeah, screw Law and Order on this song. It's The Purge all the way through, and it's a fun song nonetheless. Alright, to end this sort of like 3-part, great song says The World Needs Guts, which he's played on the Detroit Stories DVD. If you got that with the CD, he plays it. And yeah, that is a great song, by the way. It's pretty I don't know, intimidating, or pretty hard stuff, to where it's about revenge. Like, oh, your friend was mowed down like by like a gang or something. Like, all that's left is just this bloody mark on a wall, like some St. Valentine's Day massacre. You get into like gang problems, and then like, terminate the mother. There's a line in here that I don't think I've ever heard Alice actually say, and that's balls. To which he's talking about like, oh, you're going to let them hack away your balls. Something like that. I was like, oh wow, that's some pretty heavy shit right there from Alice. But just, when the intro starts, it's just the electric guitar playing, which is some great stuff, of course. And he opens up, with the, hey you, running out there, shit like that, just getting in trouble, talking about it and whatnot. Because at the end of the day, he's trying to persuade this victim to incite revenge and to put the law into your own hands, basically. But he gets very down and dirty, just talking about, terminate the mother, the world needs guts, the world needs power, show me some blood, show me some scars, we need more power, stuff like that. Because on the Nightmare Returns, I believe the Nightmare Returns tour, he actually takes his sword and cuts his arm and lets it bleed during this song, which is pretty damn extreme and pretty damn awesome. But yeah, just all the way through, this is a great song, very energetic, very fun, and, very rough and heavy, and I really do enjoy this one. Alright, we get to Trick Bag. There was one thing I forgot to mention, that CDs, no more of the side A, side B thing. It all just kind of blends into one, right? But Trick Bag, I don't know if you can see it right here. Screams cheese. I would say the one thing on this song that can completely fuck off is like the mid 80s synthesizers. Like you know the song Jump by Van Halen, how it opens up with the synths, just that boop, 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 boop. That song that can jump off a fucking cliff. Maybe that's why they call it Jump. I don't know. I know there's like the rumors about, or it's true about like a person actually jumping. I don't really know. But the synths can completely fuck off. But otherwise, the song, it's all right. I would say this song, it is the original tempo, rhythm, workings of He's Back, the Man Behind the Mask, because if you have the Life and Crimes of Alice Cooper, fuck, you can look it up. So somebody's been doing all the songs on that one. All the, like I said, the entire rhythm of He's Back is transferred to Trick Bag. That's like the original thing, but of course they went back and redid it. By the end of the day, I like the song, but it's not great by any means. I think everything besides the chorus is alright, and then the chorus, like I said, is just very blah. I know people fucking murder this song. I know that. I'm not one of those people. It's okay. But like some of these lines are very on the nose, that's for sure. And like the instruments, they follow the theme, so it's not really heavy. It just kind of follows this sort of, literal on the bed sex theme to it. But the next song though, Crawlin', I actually enjoy this a lot more than Trick Bag. Same premise, literally. But just the way that they go at it, I think it's a little bit rougher. I do like the tempo and the rhythm a lot bit better, than Trick Bag, because the rhythm to me reminds me of Life and Death of the Party, just that sort of intro piece to it. And then it's just another straight to the point sex song. And there's another point too within these stanzas that I really do like when he changes it. He's talking about like, what's that look in your eyes? So then he's, just pleasure, I guess, in itself. Backing vocalists do come in to sing the chorus and whatnot. There is a part on this song that I like. The line is slither on over here. It's like a snake, and definitely reminds me of Snake Eyes from Hey Stupid when he does that as well. Snake Eyes. Cool stuff. But yeah, Crawling. It's definitely a lot better than Trick Bag, though again, it's definitely on the nose in terms of its premise, but hey, that's cool, because it's fun nonetheless. Alright, the next one is The Great American Success Story, which, I guess maybe if you don't know the story behind it, it seems completely out of left field from the overall theme of this album, but Alice wrote this to be in the movie Back to School, right? With Rodney Dangerfield. I know that fact. I was just wondering if that was the name of the movie. I've seen parts of it. It's pretty funny, of course. It's just like any other Rodney film. I believe I heard this song in the film, but I don't think it's Alice singing. I think it's somebody else. I could be wrong. But the intro on this song is actually pretty damn heavy in terms of the premise that what comes after. Because at the end of the day, it's just like a shithead that's having to go back to school, and then of course, he's getting in fights, and, just being a complete ass, and, getting everybody's way and stuff in terms of productivity. But he has to go through, and he's going through. And there is one thing he's good at, which is, studying female anatomy, which he gets an A at, so there you go. And I do like the shift in this song between, it's like one speaker to another. I forget the term, but it's like playing exclusively in one speaker and then again in another on certain stanzas and whatnot, which is pretty cool. But it is a really fun beat on this song, and it's captivated with the chorus stanza, which I really do enjoy. Now, to end this album, probably besides, Halo Flies or something, I consider this probably one of my favorite songs by Alice Cooper. He's Back, the Man Behind the Mask. I'm actually going to be completely honest. I'll put it in the description. The end credits of the film, they got this echo effect, so everything's just kind of dilated and just like, really rich. And I really do enjoy that one. This one, I mean, not to say that this one's bad or anything, but just I love the riff and then the claps. And then, the chanting, the Jason thing, the shh, 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 fun stuff. And the piano is key in this song because I know they do it live, at least recent and whatnot, and to me, the song's just flat. I don't think it works strictly on guitars and bass. I really do think you need the piano for this song, because it really does, elevate and it gives it that, that uniqueness and weight to it, which I really do like. And the band sounds so fun doing this song. And, he's just singing about, what the films are about. You're with your girl out on Lover's Lake. You try to make your make or whatnot. Just teens out in the woods trying to have sex or just doing stuff when like a killer's out there. But man, like just some of the lines that he says, he really gives it this attitude towards it. Like that only happens, babe, in the movie screen. Or, this is your last dance and your last romance. And then there's another part to where he's talking, oh yeah, like I said, that only happens, babe, on the movie screen. He kind of gives it this creepy part for screen. And then just naming off the mistakes for what the teens do in the films. And then, like, just the chorus itself, oh, he's back, the man behind the mask, and he's out of control. He's back, cool stuff. I just love it all the way through, and just the instruments and whatnot. The chorus, like I said, the chorus is contagious, and just, second half is just, run away, he's back, he's out to get, anybody, get away from him if you can. He's a dangerous, dangerous man, and he's out tonight, and he's out, he's loose and whatnot. There's a little fun song to which, like, the Halloween theme, Friday the 13th theme is playing. Then he's like, no, don't turn off the lights. You fucking idiot. That type of thing. And then, like, it just fades off with the chorus and stuff. But he's back. The man behind the mask is, without a doubt, for me, it's probably one of my favorite songs. And I really do enjoy this song. So there you go. Alice Cooper, Constructor. Like I said, is there a bad song on this album? If I think at the end of the day, probably, yeah. Like I said, there's 5 good or great songs, and the other 5 are okay. But to me, at the end of the day, I think if you just throw your brain out and just listen to the music for music, yeah, sure, cheesy, corny, whatever. I've said that a billion times already. But at the end of the day, I think it's a fun album. But the next album, Raise Your Fist and Yell, I know people kind of give shit about that album because, commercial and whatnot. But dude, I freaking love that album, so I can't wait for that. So thank you so much for watching this. I'll see you guys next week for Raise Your Fist and Yell, and everybody, take care.